Brady and Kristen are taken aback by the judge's custody decision. But Paulina is determined to make Abe remember, so she brings him home. On today's episode of Days of Our Lives, Brady is devastated by the judge's decision regarding custody. Abe confides in Theo his anxieties, and Paulina makes every effort to get Theo to remember. At least Nicole, isn't it? While presumably speaking to Sami, Marlena repeated herself into the phone. She finds it unbelievable that is all she has to say about Eric having a child with Sloane. She wants him to avoid becoming like Brady and Kristen. When John gets home, she ends the call. She says she's glad he's back, and that hypnosis didn't bring Abe's memories back. John replies by stating that he and Steve were the ones who brought Jerry to the Salem PD. For Abe's arrival home, Theo and Paulina decorate with balloons and a banner. Food that Paulina sets out can bring back memories for him. She also intends to place an order for the same pizza that he and Lexi used to like. No matter how long it takes, she won't give up hope that Abe will recall them. Theo reveals he will be postponing his travel back to Johannesburg when they observe how much the other means to Abe. Paulina claims he won't act in such a way. He needs to return to his life and crucial business transactions. The moment Abe remembers anything, she will phone him. Steve is greeted at the hospital by Kayla. She informs him that Abe will finally be allowed to return home today, but he is still unable to recall anything from before the operation. She tells Steve everything they've learned about Whitley when he fills her in about Jerry. No matter how traumatized she was, Steve didn't care. She perhaps cost Abe the chance to remember who he is by leading his friends and family to believe that he had passed away. Channel visits Abe's hospital room with a fully clothed Abe bare claws. He doesn't recall the cakes, but he does recall her. That must imply he has his memories back, Channel thinks with excitement. He clarifies that he recognizes her from when she came to see him following his surgery. All of his recollections begin there. He says he doesn't want anyone making a scene when she describes everything Paulina is doing to be ready for his return. He can't stop it, Channel assures him, since Paulina is a powerhouse who is madly in love with him. Apparently, Abe has the same sentiments. If he could feel that love right now, he would do anything. Paulina will do whatever to make him remember, Channel tells him. Either that, or she'll rekindle his affection for her. Kristen hurries into the judge's room where Belle and Brady are waiting, wearing a coat over her wedding dress. The judge shows up. Due to Brady's behavior, she is unable to give them shared custody. She queries whether he aimed a loaded gun at Kristen while their child was present. Brady argues his case, but the judge points out that he was also involved in Rachel's kidnapping. Kristen had a terrible past, but she was pardoned, so her record is clear. Rachel, whose love for her mother is unwavering, was questioned by the judge. As a result, she gives Kristen sole custody. Steve and John enter the house as Abe looks at a picture of himself and Paulina. They hug him and introduce themselves as they break down in tears. They'll try their best to irritate him into remembering how much they value him, according to John. They reassure him that they are there for him and invite him to call them at any time. They go so he can rest. Abe is physically oak, therefore there's no need to keep him in the hospital. Kayla informs Marlena at the coffee station in the hospital lobby. Marlena advises that they moderate their expectations and refrain from placing undue pressure on him to recall. Paulina won't be able to follow that, Kayla worries. Although Marlena believes that Abe would benefit from her affection, she admits that Paulina struggles with patience. Paulina shouts that she is there to take her husband home as she exits the elevator. Kayla departs from Marlena to handle her. Paulina is reminded by Marlena that Abe might not regain his memory. Paulina is sure she can jog his memory. Marlena emphasized that exercising patience will result in her success. Abraham will return to her. Paulina assures her, the Abraham who is aware of the depth of her love for him. When Abe is by himself, he thinks back on all the visits he didn't recognize. In to say goodbye, Theo. He requests a hug from him. Opening his arms, Abe. He is the best father, Theo says, leaning in. Abe acknowledges his fear. Though he is aware of how rich his life is, he worries that he won't remember it. Theo tells him again what Abe said. Fear keeps them alive, but fear shouldn't stop you from living. Theo leaves after making a constant vow to call him. Paulina storms into Abe's room but stops herself after recalling Marlena's advice to be patient. She queries Abe about his thoughts about smoking this joint. He would really enjoy that. Quaking the judge is convinced by Brady that Kristen will turn Rachel against him. The judge acknowledges his worries, but his life is far from perfect. He was even charged with what appeared to be Philip's murder, and the mother is frequently given custody of the kids. If Rachel stated that she had no desire to interact with her father, Belle queries. The judge replies, not in so many words, but her actions speak volumes. Tomorrow, she instructs Brady to give Rachel to Kristen. Brady begs Kristen to speak with the judge after the judge departs. Even if she previously loved him, Kristen will follow the judge's decision. He will, however, get supervised visitation. When Paulina gets Abe home, she inquires as to if he recognizes anything. He looks concerned as he scans the space. Brady welcomes John and Marlena home and breaks the news that Kristen has full custody while crying. Marlena portrays horror. Kristen, who is visibly moved, tells Belle in the judge's chambers that Brady lost and she won. Any moral mother, according to Belle, would know that Rachel also suffered a significant loss today. Sloane reveals a secret on Days of Our Lives, and Wendy learns more about Lai's love life. Spoilers for Wednesday, August 2's episode of Days of Our Lives reveal that Sloane Peterson discloses a secret. Talia Hunter and Channel Dupree square off. More and more of Abe Carver's, James Reynolds, recollections elude him. Sloane Peterson requires a companion. According to Days of Our Lives rumors, Sloane discloses a bombshell regarding Nicole Walker's pregnancy. Sloane will reveal secrets to Melinda Trask. Sloane doesn't exactly have many friends in Salem, and she is unable to confide in Greg Vaughn's character, Eric Brady. After all, Eric would discover that Sloane had altered the test results to indicate that E.J. DeMera is the father in addition to lying about swabbing Nicole's cheek for Nicole's paternity test. Of course, Eric is the father of both Nicole's and Sloane's children as a result of Sloane's DNA exchange. Sloane worries that if the truth is revealed, Eric would leave her. Of course, Eric and Nicole both acknowledged that they desired for this child to be his. If Eric discovered the truth about Nicole's child, what would he do? What will Melinda do with this to Sloane? Well, Abe Carver's memories haven't yet returned. Spoilers. Talia and Channel square off. Abe's inability to recall his life, and the fact that it all began with Colin Bedford, Jasper Newman, disturbed Channel greatly. All of this could have been prevented if Talia had raised her voice earlier. Naturally, Channel misses working with Talia because the two of them were a terrific team up until Talia drugged those biscuits. Talia is a great baker. Will the knuckles be buried? Abe's memory is not jogged by time at home. Paulina Price thought having Abe home would help him remember things. However, nothing has taken place thus far. They have been told not to put pressure on Abe by Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall. Will Abe put himself under too much stress? Times of Our Lives spoilers. Concerned about Lee Shin is Wendy Shin. Lai Shin, Remington Hoffman, is hanging out with Melinda, which worries Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace. Attempts by Melinda to record Lee admitting to trying to kill Stephen Dimera, Brandon Barish, have already been made. Wendy worries that Melinda will use any means necessary to throw her brother in jail. After all, defeating Lai may be a great victory for Melinda. Melinda and Lai have agreed that they have a certain amount of chemistry. Melinda might want to follow this to see where it leads. Will Melinda and Lee make amends and attempt a romantic relationship? Is Melinda still committed to using any means necessary to defeat Lai? Is Lai about to bring forth a new case to demonstrate precisely what he did to Stefan and Gabby Demura, Camila Banas?